Folks in the house, how's everybody doing? And try something totally off the chart different. Is we are going to attempt to do butterfly nectar homemade, and we're going to soak it with a sponge and a plate. And so the ratio is 4-to-1 water sugar for hummingbirds, 10-to-1 for butterflies. I'm going to go 9-to-1 is what I'm going to try. And so basically, I'm just using this as an example because I got the water boiling. Is more or less nine of these, and so it's just the show. So 9 times you're doing this, and I did do a little. I went 9 and maybe 1/4, and I just want to. I don't know. I just felt like that's the way I wanted to go with it. So that's that. And okay, this is, I do have the water boiling. I do have to turn that down. And what we're going to be doing is adding the sugar to that. Look, I need a little more than you know. So you pour this into the boiling water, and you stir that and make sure it dissolves. You do have to let it cool, so if anything, maybe show some flowers or something. I prepared a sponge and a plate that I'll be putting on a bird feeder. See how it works. And get this. Oh, wow, I didn't even really have to stir it because it was that hot that sugar dissolved. So you're supposed to let that cool, and I am going to let that go for a couple minutes. And hopefully I don't burn myself doing this, but I'm going to rush this probably. But you're supposed to let it go to room temperature, but that's going to take a little time. And I know I can, you know what, I could do this. Yeah, have a talk. Is UW football. People have been, Wisconsin football, they're talking about the schedule so rough and tough. And Melvin Gordon came out and he goes, enough of that. And it's like, play your game. And it's like, for me, I prefer a tough schedule for football when it comes to playoff time instead of like Alabama, Ohio State playing the House of the Blind for one of their games. That's just me on that. Is if you're going to play for the playoffs, there should be, it's like EA don't have no week schedule. I think that should be a rule for getting into the damn thing. And just because they play Division 2, Division 3, they'll always throw a game in there. And for me, it's like you always saw that for the champion. It's like, yeah, you have this game that's on your schedule. Why? So that's my thought on that. But Melvin Gordon did a nice thing about, enough with the tough schedule. I like that Wisconsin has a good schedule. So hopefully it turns out for them. UWM basketball. See what happens. I like their non-conference schedule. So far, so good, but I think they're going to probably end up putting some Division 2, 3 games in there to fill the non-conference. I hope they don't, but that's just me. I like the schedule that I'm seeing so far. I think they got like 8 games set up. The only thing I just don't like about, again, I've talked about this, is the portal. That I think B.J. Freeman, who was with UWM 2 years ago, he played for 2 years. He went to Arizona or Arizona State. Something happened that he's no longer on that team or whatever. But I think if he would have stayed at UWM, he possibly could have made a small name, a footprint, because he stayed, and would have probably passed some of the records on UWM's all time, or up on the top 5 probably. But again, it's something that these people want to do, this hopping around. I'm seeing people going to two, three schools, and it's like I just don't get the concept. I mean, I know it's all about money, but I think if you're a smaller player and you decide to stick with a school, I think you have a shot to escalate your value by sticking with one program. It's like, what do I know about it? But that's the way I think on that. So, is let's get this. Well, this is going. I'm going to take you outside, and you can look at some flowers. And I want to do something, but I'm going to stay away from it or another topic another time because it kind of defeats having this. I do have to get the door, so give me a moment here. That's cooling off pretty good. I should maybe put it outside. It'll cool off quicker, but and just give a tour of the garden and stuff. That's what is going on. I appreciate everybody that's viewed. I'm curious about if this is going to work or not. I don't know how I came across it all of a sudden. Because I think I've talked about butterflies, that when I opened up a search one time, it just came up butterfly. I was like, okay, what is this? And it's like, okay, I'm interested. So, and now I'll get you guys set up when I go get the water and the sponge and stuff. Cherry tomatoes are coming. Tiger lilies. Oh, just make the birds fly. Okay, so that's that. Some zinnias, and I think these are asters, the ones that they're about to bloom. So, the white flowers up front, those are attracting bumblebees. Hot peppers are starting to come, that they're popping a little bit. You have to get some weeding. And then my garden has turned into a dill garden, but there are beans in here I have to pick, and cucumbers are coming. There is lettuce. But the tomato plants are getting crazy, and there are tomatoes on here. So that is going there. Some more flowers going on. This is where I'll be hanging the butterfly. They say that you should put it around flowers, so hopefully this is going to work. Yeah, let's see if there's any bees on here. There's a couple bumblebees. But yeah, compared to other years, the bumblebees have been a little more observant this year compared to other years. There were a couple of years ago, there were some, I didn't even consider them bumblebees. And I was like, what the hell kind of bees are on here? And that was a 1 year, well, yeah, it was 1 year. And it was just this, it was like, what are these? So, okay, if you can give me a moment, I'm gonna go get my stuff. So I wish I had music to play or something. Sorry about that. So give me 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, it's more. I'll let this cool a couple more minutes as I have my concoction here. And movie-wise, I don't have anything, but letting you know is the family and faith-based movies, they've come a long way. in regards to viewable and the acting involved. I can't wait until I get down in my list in regards to some. I even have some sports movies that are off obscure that people are like, I didn't even know that was out there, but there are some good ones. So I'll be covering that down the road for movies. And I'll be doing another video once I do this just to see if anything gets attracted. They say they change it out 2 to 3 days, so see how this works with the sponge in the scenario here. I'm just going to let this go. It's still a little hot. And what I'm using is a bird feeder that I'm going to put the plate on. I can do that now that I'm doing this. So this. I don't know if this. I'm hoping the sponge is going to kind of keep things in place. Is what I'm hoping. So. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe this will work. Okay. Try to get the plate. I guess I do have it working. All right. So this is how I'm going to have my plate, and I'll put the sponge on there in a second here, and see what we get. Talk a couple more minutes. I'm not sure. It's a little hot. It's not at room temperature. I guess I'm rushing it a little bit. Okay. This here, and I'm just going to go hang this up and I'll show you. Okay. Again, this is making butterfly, homemade butterfly. Okay, and thanks for your patience there. Sorry about the view. And this is what it looks like. And so that is my homemade butterfly nectar. And so we'll see what happens. And the petunia plant I get a kick out of is Menards was more or less getting rid of everything that they had, and I ended up buying a hanging basket for $3. I was like, okay. I wasn't intending to, but that's what happened. So I hope everybody enjoys and see what happens. Kind of like would like something to happen while I'm doing the video, but I know that isn't going to happen. So my subscribers, appreciate. Thanks for watching the videos. Anybody that's new can subscribe if you want. Try to have fun. I know I should be doing a little better with the videos. My fault on that. Trying to do a little better now. And so, see where this goes. And I get another video, either I won't post it right away. Maybe I'll do back to back, I'm not sure. Depends on what happens here. So, I guess we can call this right now. I'm kind of just looking over there to see if anything's happening. So I appreciate everybody. I gotta find some shade so I can see my cursor. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Folks in the house.